Today we discuss a struggle that has set the entire Middle East ablaze and posed the most difficult question to humanity: can the world still preserve peace? This is the story of Gaza and Israel, where a century-old dispute has now become a symbol of war, politics, and humanitarian tragedy. From 1947 to 2025, each decade has witnessed a new tale of blood, displacement, and broken dreams. On October 7, 2023, a fire was ignited that has yet to be extinguished. By 2025, as Gaza has turned into ruins, thousands of lives have been buried under debris, and the entire world is pleading for a ceasefire. The question arises: will this war ever end? Will politics triumph over humanity, or will the world genuinely give peace a chance this time? Today we will showcase the entire history of this conflict, the current situation, international pressure, and the possible future path, with depth, evidence, and impartial analysis. Greetings everyone, you are watching Daily Update Current News, where we show you the truth of the world's greatest events with depth and evidence. Today, we are going to talk about the Gaza-Israel conflict, which is not just a war, but a century-old tale. Beginning on October 7, 2023, this war has evolved into a humanitarian tragedy, a diplomatic war, and a global crisis by the year 2025. So, let's explore the complete history of the Gaza-Israel conflict, the current situation, and the path towards the future. The truth of history. The roots of this story lie in 1947, when the United Nations proposed the partition of Palestine into two parts, a Jewish state and an Arab state. Israel was born in 1948, but along with it began the displacement. Approximately 700,000 Palestinians were rendered homeless, known as Nakba, or the catastrophe. In the Six-Day War of 1967, Israel captured the Gaza Strip. Then, in 2005, Israel withdrew its forces from Gaza, but in 2007, the Islamic organization Hamas took control of Gaza. Since then, ongoing conflicts, blockades, and wars have persisted between Israel and Hamas. In 2008, 2012, 2014, and 2021, each time war, each time a ceasefire, and each time the same result: destruction, devastation, and suffering. October 7, 2023, the start of the war. October 7, 2023, this is the date when Hamas suddenly launched a major attack on southern Israel. Hundreds of Israeli civilians and soldiers were killed, and many were taken hostage to Gaza. In response, Israel launched a massive military campaign on Gaza, thousands of airstrikes, missiles, and ground attacks. The land of Gaza began to turn to ashes in this war. Thousands of children, women, and the elderly were killed. This was the period that shook the entire world. The humanitarian crisis, the call of Gaza. According to reports from the United Nations, UNRWA, and OCHA, over 67,000 Palestinians have been killed, while 90% of Gaza's population is homeless. There is a severe shortage of food, and water is contaminated. Hospitals have turned to rubble, and thousands of children are on the verge of dying from malnutrition. Medicines, fuel, and electricity are almost absent. The hospitals that remain are overflowing with the wounded. Doctors are performing surgeries with flashlight mobiles. This is not just war. It is a humanitarian disaster. Current situation, October 25, 2025. In October 2025, a U.S.-mediated ceasefire was implemented. Under this agreement, some Israeli hostages were released, and in return, Israel released some Palestinian prisoners. But this ceasefire is very fragile. Every few days, both sides accuse each other of violations. Recently, Israel conducted a targeted strike in the central part of Gaza, killing dozens. On the political front, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that the complete disarmament of Hamas is the ultimate goal. the Israeli army still holds control over about 53% of Gaza. Meanwhile, the US, Egypt, and Qatar are continuously engaged in mediation. International response and human rights. A United Nations Independent Investigation Commission has expressed serious concern over the allegations of massacres in Gaza and stated that massive human rights violations have occurred. Israel dismisses these accusations, saying they are acting in self-defense, and accuses Hamas of hiding in civilian areas. Meanwhile, protests erupted in many countries around the world. Millions took to the streets in support of Gaza, demanding ceasefire now. The future path. Now the question is, will this war ever end? There are three possibilities. 1. Fragile stability. Ceasefire gradually becomes permanent, humanitarian aid increases, and reconstruction begins. 2. Limited resurgence. An attack reignites the war, and destruction returns. 3. Diplomatic success, best case. Through regional and international efforts, a new political framework is established in Gaza, ensuring security, reconstruction, and peace. But this requires trust, transparency, and political courage. In a world where daily news often feels like a cycle of repeated chaos punctuated by fleeting promise, we glimpse into the grim face of limited, renewed conflict. Picture this: a single attack, perhaps a stray missile or an unexpected incursion, ignites the fragile peace, resurrecting the throes of war like a long-forgotten ghost unsettlingly returned. Destruction and despair could once more roam the land like unwelcome relatives who outstay their visit. Then, the best possible scenario emerges like a diplomat's dream on the edge of impossibility, a diplomatic success achieved by regional and international efforts that somehow managed to weave a new political tapestry for Gaza. This includes a path lined with security, reconstruction, and peace, carved from the stone of trust, transparency, and political courage. Picture world leaders in stylish suits, sharing awkward but heartily genuine handshakes, pretending they remember each other's names as cameras click away. This is more than a battle of borders. It's an examination of humanity's soul, where thousands of children, women, and the elderly still search for life amidst the rubble. The world stands at a pivotal point. It is not just a time for political maneuvering, but a chance to advocate for humanity itself. If peace is yearned for more ardently than headlines appear to suggest, then the term ceasefire should manifest beyond merely ink on paper, taking root and blossoming on solid ground. So, if you enjoyed this in-depth analysis, remember to like, share, and subscribe to see the true nuanced reports on pressing global events first. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Update Current News, where authenticity meets reporting.